Hey guys, welcome to episode 31 of my investment journey series, the series we do right here on my YouTube channel, where I take you guys through my entire Trading 212 portfolio from the previous week. We'll look at what's been doing good, what's been doing not so good, and I kind of talk you through my investments and what I'm looking to do next. So real quick, if you've not seen me before, my name's Ian Geddes and I've been investing since the beginning of April as we first entered lockdown here in the UK. The first lockdown that is, not the second lockdown, has now been put in place in England. So yeah, like I say, 31 weeks now I've been doing this as a complete beginner to the world of investing, stock markets, trading 212, all that sort of thing. And I like to think I've picked up a lot of things on the way, and I'm now kind of passing what I've learned back to you guys. Keeps me accountable here on YouTube, keeps me investing, keeps me in the right mindset. So hopefully it's a win-win. So if you like this sort of content around investing, money, mindset, all that sort of stuff, plus a few random things might be chucked in along the way, because why not, then click the subscribe button below. We'd really appreciate it. We're now over 570 subscribers, which is amazing news, so thank you to each and every one of you for being a subscriber to this channel. Also, go ahead and click those like buttons. I say like buttons, there's only one, so click that like button please, because it helps get these videos out to more people on YouTube. Yeah, it's been a really strange week in the stock market. I was actually expecting things to be really bad this week from last week. My last video, if you've seen it, was on Halloween, and I predicted that next week, so this week just passed, would be a bloodbath and things would be a lot worse. Stocks would plummet even further and I would end up being a lot more in the red. Turns out complete opposites happened. I'm actually back in the green quite strongly. Things have rose and it's really surprised me. I was not expecting it with everything around the US election, the second lockdown in England, everything still going on with Brexit, all the talks. So yeah, totally caught me off guard. But the one thing it's proved in my head, something that you guys should take note of, is again, it just proves you cannot time the market. It's all about time in the market. Without further ado, let's jump over to my iPhone screen. I'll open up the Trading 212 app and we will go through my investments for the previous week. So here we are guys, on my iPhone. Let's open up Trading 212 app, enter my passcode, Face ID, etc. and head to my portfolio section. And here we are. So, portfolio value, as you can see there, £9,708.98. I've now invested £9,481.90 of my own money, and my return is now showing £227.08. So we are 2.39% in the green, which is brilliant news, especially if you've seen last week's video. You'll see what we were at. I'll actually show you here on the weekly view once again. So last week we were minus £243.16 in the red, 2.57% down, negative, so negative 2.57%. So we went from negative 2.57 to positive 2.39. So brilliant week this week, something that totally caught him off guard, like I said in the introduction of this video, and I was just not expecting it at all. Now, I'll just quickly say, if you're looking to get involved in the world of investing, I recommend using Trading 212, which is the app you currently see here. It's the one I've been now using for 32 weeks as a complete beginner. It's extremely easy to pick up and start using, and if you sign up to Trading 212 with this link you see here on my screen, I'll put this in the comments below. It will also be in the description of this video. And if you sign up with this link, you'll receive a free share worth up to the value of £100. So go ahead, get signed up, deposit a minimum of £1, start your investing journey like I have done. Best of luck to you, and like I say, you'll receive that free share worth up to £100. If you do end up doing it, let me know what free share you receive, because I'd love to hear what you guys are getting. So back to my portfolio here and my investments. Quick glance, we're seeing green, red, red, green, 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 red, green, red, 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 green, red, green, 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 and green. So yep, definitely good to see green in there compared to last week. If we head to the history section of my Trading 212 account and just check what's been going on. So dividends tab, first of all, I haven't received any dividends in the past week. So the total dividends received since the beginning of April still sits at £97.69. Heading over to the orders tab now, and we can see there's not actually been a great deal happening this past week either. Let me just check the calendar. So the beginning of the week was the 2nd. So yeah, this past week I've not actually done much. I've kind of just been watching things go from red to green, which has been great to see. And as you can see there, iShares Core FTSE 100, I bought one more unit on that on the 3rd November, just because I realised I had some free funds left and I saw the FTSE was starting to climb again, so I thought I would just buy another share there. And on the 4th of November here, you can see the Smile Direct Club, 1 share. That was actually a free share that I received from one of you guys out there signing up to Trading 212 through one of my referral links. And yeah, big thank you for doing that. Like I say, really appreciate it. So that was this one here, and that was on the 4th of November, so that was Wednesday. Heading back to the portfolio section, looking at my investments, we'll start at the bottom this week. The FTSE Emerging Markets ETF, looking 4.65% up from last week, so that's extremely positive. VanEck Vectors ETF, 7.44% from last week. That's a big climber this week, something I'm really glad I started investing in when I did, because it looks like it's climbing considerably and hopefully that continues. Starbucks, part of my Busy Pie. A lot of you guys out there are loving my Busy Pie. I'd like to know if you guys are using pies on Trading 212 yet. If so, let me know in the comments section below. And looking at last week, 4.18% up from last week, so that is also brilliant to see. We've then got this 1 free share in Smile Direct Club that I was mentioning, and that's 13.48% up from last week. So it looks like I actually got this free share at a really good time, because I got it here and it's just went shooting up since. So that's brilliant news. Like I say, I don't know a whole lot about this stock, so if you guys own this or if you know more about this, please let me know in the comments section, because I have done zero research. Like I say, it was a free share I received, so who knows what's going to happen. Royal Dutch Shell, my 115 shares, weekly view, it's actually up 4.2% from last week, something I wasn't expecting. Again, that's really good to see. Quite a big climb, to be honest. It's one of the biggest climbs I've seen in the last few weeks for Shell, so I'm really glad about that, especially considering the value of my investment. Hopefully that continues, but of course the world of oil right just now is just so uncertain, so who really knows what's going to happen. Coming up to National Grid, my 5 free shares, and weekly view, 1.28% from last week, that's climbed, so brilliant news once again. These are my 5 free shares. They've all been free shares received from people signing up through my links, so it seems to be a very common one on Trading 212. I've not actually had one of these free shares in a while with National Grid, but I believe it's still quite a common one that's handed out. MGM Resorts, 5 shares, 7.15% up from last week. Again, positive, it's in the green, big climb, chuffed with that. Again, this was a kind of a gamble, this stock, something I've said about before. So I really have no idea what I'm going to do with this one, but right just now I'm just glad it's back in the green. My McDonald's investment, weekly view, 1.7% up from last week. You guys that watch these videos regularly, you will know this is one of my investments in the Busy Pie. Again, it's alongside Starbucks. It's one of the places I see that's always busy, so that is basically why I invested in this company, and that's why I'm going to hold it long term. So yeah, 1.7% up from last week. I'm chuffed with that. And yeah, long term with McDonald's, I really don't have any concerns there. Legal & General Group is next up, one of my favourite UK stocks. I love the dividend they pay. I think they're a really strong, stable company. And looking at the weekly view, 5.05% up from last week. That's another good amount of climb there, and I'm chuffed with that. It's good to see my average shares, the price of average shares kind of get back to that level. So that's a hyphenated line that I've spoke about in previous videos. Basically, if you're below that line, it's not a good thing, and if you're above the line, it is a good thing. But the way to flip that, if you're below that line and you want to potentially buy a stock that you believe in at a sale price, that is your time to buy more, and you can kind of average your investment down with that stock. So that's what I've been doing with Legal & General, slightly much like I've been doing with Shell. So it's good to see that climbing back up. The S&P 500 healthcare sector ETF, 8.82% up from last week. Extremely positive news. A lot of this, I guess, is down to the US election, and that's probably one of the biggest climbers this week, to be honest with you. So yep, really chuffed with that one. The iShares Physical Gold ETF we've got here, weekly view, it is actually up 2.01% from last week, so another one that's been a pretty decent climb. I actually bought in at gold at the worst possible time, it seems to be, in the last 3 months. So if I take you to, sorry, it's actually past that. So I actually bought in at gold at this point here, and back in August, 5th of August. So as you can see, I bought in right at the peak, and then it dropped, and it's not managed to get back to that point so far. Gold was on a major rally through July into August, and I decided to jump on here, but yeah, it didn't really work out. Again, long term, I'm sure it'll all be fine, and just got to have patience and stay consistent with your investments, like I always say. But just again, just another example proves you cannot time the market. It's all about keeping your investments and time in the market, not time in the market. The iShares Nasdaq 100 ETF is next up. Weekly view, 6.65% up from last week. Another really strong climber. This has actually managed to boost my portfolio value by quite a lot this week, because as you can see here, I had a lot invested here, so 2 shares worth that £1,029.07. So the fact this has climbed 6.65% in the last week has really helped boost things, and that has firmly got me back in the green. The iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, weekly view, 7.86% up from last week. You guys are probably starting to see a pattern here. It looks like all the uncertainty of this past week that I thought was going to make things turn really bad and actually throw us into the red even more. It's complete opposite of that. Things are really positive, and 7.86% up from last week, like I say. So yep, brilliant news. Hopefully that continues. I do believe clean energy, as I'm sure most people believe, it is the future. And yeah, happy to hold this one long term and continue to invest. The iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, weekly view, 5.45% up from last week. Been a lot of rallying going on with the whole US elections, a lot of stocks and companies, a lot of excitement and buzz, etc, etc. And I guess that's kind of what we're seeing reflected here right now in the stock market. So S&P 500 ETF, that has been a really decent growth this past week, especially when you look at the last 3 months. There's been a lot up and down, but this past week has been a sharp climb. So hopefully this continues, but who knows what's going to happen. Still all of the uncertainty around the election and who is actually going to be the real clear winner. So yeah, let's see what happens in the next week. The iShares Core FTSE 100 ETF, 5.7% up from last week. The FTSE 100's actually benefited a lot with all the buzz and excitement and all the happenings of the US election. Something a lot of people don't really realise is that even though the FTSE 100 obviously tracks the 100 top UK companies, a lot of that business is purely reliant on the US economy, and if the US is doing well, the FTSE tends to do well. But don't quote me on that completely. It's just things that I've seen, patterns I've seen since I've been investing. So yeah, 5.7% up from last week, really positive. I'm extremely happy with that one. If we look at the monthly view, you can see it dipped considerably here, and the fact it's now starting to climb quite strongly is something I'm really chuffed with, especially when you consider it's my second biggest investment in my portfolio. I'm extremely happy with that, so long may that continue. Hive Group's next up, 25 shares, 9.92% up from last week. Again, really positive news, was not expecting that, so just another one to add in the list of ones that have grown this past week, and another one to be happy for. Cineworld Group, my 200 shares, weekly view, 1.15% up from last week. It's probably one of the lowest growers this past week, but it's still a positive, it's still in the green, so I'm going to take that as a win. And then American Airlines, my 2 free shares I got from you guys through my links, 1.6% up from last week. So again, another one that's positive, another one that's green, so I can't really complain. Heading over to my pies and looking at my busy pie, we can see my holdings there still, just the McDonald's and Starbucks. And if we go to the overview, you can see the value of that pie is now £322.52. So overall with this pie, I'm actually down £3.70 in the negative. And if we go to the holdings tab, we can see Starbucks is actually what's propping this up slightly. McDonald's is the one dragging it back a little bit there. So because of McDonald's, I'm actually negative with this one. But I'm not worried about that, because long term, like I say, a lot of faith in McDonald's and Starbucks. Always busy. And I'm just thinking 10 years down the line, will they still be here? I definitely think so. Will they be as big as they are today? I think they'll be bigger. So yeah, it just makes sense to me to invest in them. Once again, guys, if you want to get involved investing, I recommend Trading 212. My link's on the screen, it'll be in the comments, it'll be in the description. Get signed up, create yourself an account, start your investing journey, and all the best of luck to you. If you've enjoyed this video, please click that like button. Please consider subscribing to this channel and leave some comments below. Let me know what you think things are going to look like next week. Will things continue to climb? Will they get more positive in terms of your investments? Or will things turn somewhere again and will be dropped back into the red? I was clearly wrong with my last prediction, so let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, make your predictions now, and let's see who is right. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, we will see you soon.